Hi there everybody, September is absolutely just jam-packed with all sorts of great RPGs. I got 16 of them coming out for you, and I personally cannot wait. Not only just, for all these games, but for the cooler weather. I am over the 110 plus Vegas summers. We have a new Dragon Quest coming out. We got Neguda Boundless Trails. We have the Baton Kaitos remasters. Hell yeah! So we're going to start going through all these games in release order. This video is brought to you by Witchspring R, releasing soon for the PC. This is a story-driven RPG combining elements of simulation, collecting, crafting, and strategic turn-based battling. Here, you play as Pieberry, a white-haired, bunny-eared witch growing up in a forest filled up with monsters. To relive her childhood memories, she longs to venture among the humans, but she can't find her way outside the forest. That is, until you take control and your story begins. As a witch, Pieberry will be able to concoct various magics using the 4 different elements. She'll also be able to upgrade her weapons and create potions, as well as magical stones and other accessories from all the cool different ingredients that you find in the forest. You can train her to your liking, as her growth is directly correlated to the schedule that you set up for her, and you'll be able to capture more than 15 different kinds of pets who can help you in battle, but you'll also have to rely on them to cross the varying terrain. There's a bit of a challenge here too, with the powerful enemies inhabiting the forest, so do be sure that you time your defenses well and select your skills properly. So if you're as excited about this game as I am, simply head on over to the Witchspring R Steam page located in the video description below and wishlist it today. And now with that, let's get on to all the RPGs releasing in September. First up is Rune Factory 3 Special, to release for the Nintendo Switch and PC on September 5th. This was originally released for the Nintendo DS, but now it's getting ported on over to the big screens, with some new additions such as a Newlywed Mode, which are standalone adventures that are unlocked after you get married to one of the 11 eligible bachelorettes, and an added Hell difficulty level. Here you can transform into like a kind of sheep type monster, and villagers can join you in battle so you're not out there fighting alone. Also, there is a reason why this one got the remake treatment, because it's widely regarded as one of the best entries in the series. Number 2, Monochromus Rights and Wrongs Forgotten, released for the PS4 and 5, September 5th in North America and September 8th over in Europe. What a fantastic game this is! I went into this with absolutely no expectations whatsoever, and I left feeling like I may have just played one of the best turn-based RPGs of the year. I could really only liken the combat to something like Grandia. Also, the characters are lovable, the environments are open and fun to explore, and the gameplay is very intuitive. If I had to knock one thing though, it would be that there is no English voice acting, and all the Japanese terminology can be very overwhelming for somebody like me. But otherwise, this is a gem. Number 3, Baldurs Gate 3, released for the PS5 on September 6th. I keep hearing such great things about this game, that it's absolutely enormous, that it's turn-based, and that it's selling like hotcakes, and, just all told, that it's utterly fantastic. Granted, my history with Western RPGs is pretty much non-existent. What I normally do is wait until like the end of a console cycle, and then I go out and I buy up all those Western RPGs that I missed for like $5 or $10 each. But this thing is getting such great rave reviews that I might just go pick it up whenever it's like $20 or $30. And while you might not think so, that's actually really good praise from somebody like me. Number 4, Starfield, released for the Xbox and PC on September 6th. I guess I really am in my own little like jrpg bubble, because I had no idea what this game is. So I went ahead and I researched it, and apparently it's made by the same people who made Skyrim and Fallout. But this time, instead of exploring like a post-apocalyptic or Nordic themed land, you're now in the future, soaring through over 1,000 different planets. Many times games like this can feel a little bit overwhelming to me, and it also looks a bit, shootery. So I don't know if this is really up my alley, but much like Baldur's Gate 3, I'll probably pick it up whenever it's like half price. Number 5, The Dragoness, Command of the Flame, released for the Nintendo Switch on September 7th. Well, here's one that I've actually never really heard of, and maybe that's a good thing. Apparently this released over on the Steam last year, and it wasn't exactly positively received over there. It bills itself as a Heroes of Might and Magic type game with city building and turn-based combat with a roguelike twist. But the reviews tell another story, saying things such as, "The UI is atrocious. I cannot understate how bad the UI is right now." And Steam shows that I have 40 hours played, but that's because I was too bored to continue. So, my personal, professional recommendation is, proceed with caution. Number 6, Dokapon Kingdom Connect, released for the PC on September 7th. Does this game sound familiar? Well, it did to me. That's because it was originally released back on the Nintendo Wii and PS2, and it was also recently released for the Nintendo Switch too. But now it's getting ported over to the PC, where you can play against your friends online. This is essentially one of those board game games, but there are 5 different game modes that you can actually play. There's normal, story, shopping race, kill race, and town race. And not only that, there are 11 different job classes that you can choose from for added replayability if you want. Number 7, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, released for mobile on September 7th. I wish to God that this was not coming out on mobile and it was actually coming out for the consoles. Kinda like how Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition came out for the consoles eventually. This here is a full-on remake of Final Fantasy VII and Crisis Core, along with brand new materials such as the childhood stories of the game's characters and the added backstory of First Soldier. I know that Square loves throwing, billions of dollars down the toilet to get those hyper-realistic graphics, but honestly, these are the kind of graphics that I just love. Number 8, Touhou New World, released for the PS4 and 5 on September 12th. This one looks really cool and fun, and it was recently released over on the Switch and PC back in July, but now it's coming on over to the Sony systems. This is a really long-running series based upon Magical Girl anime, which reminds me of Ys Origins, because not only do you have that kind of like top-down combat, but you also have a choice of 2 different protagonists, each with different fighting styles. It does seem kind of like fast-paced and bullet hell, but it also looks like a whole lot of fun. Number 9, Myth Force, releasing for the Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PS4 and 5, and PC on September 12th. Have you ever wanted to actually play like a Saturday morning cartoon? Well, now you can. This is a roguelike adventure action RPG where you can play as Rico the Rogue, Victoria the Knight, Hawkins the Hunter, or Maggie the Mage, as you dungeon crawl your way through colorful cartoon castle. You can either go it alone, or play in cooperative mode with up to 4 different players. Personally, I think that this looks pretty damn neat. Number 10, Mugen Soul Z, released for the Nintendo Switch on September 14th. Ah, Compile Heart and Idea Fuctory. What a match made in hell they are. When these 2 god-awful companies exploded onto the scene back in the PS3 era, all I knew was to avoid them at all costs. Everything that they made looked like absolute trash to me, yet they never actually went out of business. It really is a mystery for the ages. Anyway, this is a sequel to Mugen Souls, which was recently ported on over to the Switch as well back in April, and just like the recent Switch port of the first game, all of the original content from the Japanese versions does remain intact and uncensored. So if you're a fan of these 2 companies for whatever reason, then I guess you should go check out this definitive version. Number 11, Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remastered, released for the Nintendo Switch on September 14th. There are hidden gems, and then there's Baten Kaitos, the most hidden of the hidden gems. I am super shocked but also super stoked that this is getting a remaster, though it really does suck that they're removing the English voice acting. I remember playing through this on summer break, and while at first I was put off by the card-based battle system, the weird voice acting, and the degradation of cards, I quickly got into it because of the deep plot, great characterization, and an absolutely gorgeous world. And once I finished the first game, I started up the second one the very next day. I just could not get enough. I was lost in the universe, and I can't wait to get lost again. Number 12, Lies of P, released for the Xbox, PS4 and 5, and PC on September 19th. Oh look, just what the world needs. Yet another Souls-like. At least this one does have an interesting premise. You play as Pinocchio in a kind of Victorian horror, Baroque, steampunky world, though I must say, for being Pinocchio, he has a really nice and cute looking nose. Anyway, I really don't play these Souls-likes. Making incredibly difficult games just for the sake of having an incredibly frustrating experience isn't exactly my idea of fun. I could see myself getting into these kind of games if they actually added, a normal mode, but God forbid they do that. Number 13, The Legend of Neguda Boundless Trails, released for the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC on September 19th in North America and September 22nd over in Europe. I love a good action RPG, especially when they're beautiful, whimsical, and chock full of fun. This is a love child between the action of Ys and the story of Legend of Heroes. You play as Touhou's grandfather, Neguda Herschel, exploring a world called Lost Heaven, which consists of 4 continents, but the seasons are all out of whack. Once you clear the continent and restore it to its original season, you can go through the stages again and find more hidden secrets. There are tons of objectives to accomplish in each stage, which keeps the game fresh, and I can't wait for this. Number 14, Turnites, released for the PS4 and 5 and PC on September 21st. This is a blend of action RPG goodness along with dating mechanics, where you fight through a post-apocalyptic world filled with danger, love, and adventure. An evil god has turned the rest of humanity into monsters, and you're out there fighting for a cure as well as for those that you love. And rather than just limiting you to harem choices like most games do, there's actually a gay romance option too, so that's a step in the right direction. Number 15, Infinity Strash Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai, released for the Xbox, PS4 and 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC on September 28th. Recently, I had COVID, and I gave this anime my best college try, but I couldn't get through it, and I was bored to tears after the second episode, so I just went back to watching The Beauty Queen of Jerusalem instead. Anyway, though Dragon Quest is my favorite series of all time, I've never missed a single entry in them, and I'm not about to start missing an entry now. This is a new take on the franchise though, as it is an action RPG through and through, where you go off fighting with a party of 4 through a brand new land as you aspire to become a new hero. And there's nothing that gets me more excited than being able to go back in time to whenever I was 7 years old and I first played the original Dragon Warrior myself. This series just brings back such great memories for me. And finally, number 16, Fate Samurai Remnant, released for the PS4 and 5 Nintendo Switch and PC on September 29th. Sometimes there are series that I just avoid. I can't exactly put my finger on why, but I just do. And this weird Slash series is one of them. There's a billion of these Slash games going back 20 years now, and not a single one of them has actually caught my eye. It's probably because they started off as visual novels, but apparently now they've turned into action RPGs. But either way, I still have no desire to play them. Anyway, this takes place in the Japanese Edo period, where a young man finds himself caught up in the Holy Grail War. So that's it for all the RPGs that are releasing this September. What do you think about these games? Let's get a discussion going on here, and let's all talk and chat about it, because I'm always there in the comments too. And if you like what I do here on the channel, please head on over to the Patreon to sign up for early access to my videos and behind the scenes photographs. The link to it's over in the video description. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.